Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here, having the opportunity to tell you about my project, Fertibug. I have been an organic farmer, dairy and vegetables in Norway for 20 years. And I have experienced the difficulties you meet when you are growing cabbage or brassicas. Our toolbox is rather small. Mineral fertilizer and pesticides prohibited. The biggest problem, however, is an insect, Delia radicum, also known as the cabbage root fly. It's an exciting insect. She's very well equipped for the job, finding the right spot to put her eggs. Her eyes are tuned to see the color radiation from the green cabbage leaves. And being rare in a farmer's cabbage field, she walks around on the leaves, checking with her biosensors. She got at the end of her small feet. Is the chemical substance, for instance synaptic acid, which it probably is it present? So far, so good. Ran down the stem to the ground, walking around the stem, checking with her fallopian tube, is the soil suitable for my eggs? If so, she lays her eggs into the ground, close to the root of the cabbage. She has succeeded. When the larvae come out, they are very hungry, but they are gathered at the dining table, with their favorite dish served, roots of brassicas. It's a great story in nature, considering the descendants, but the farmer cries when he discovers the dead plants and the losses he and his wallet must bear. When you are working as an organic farmer, the issue is not to kill with pesticides, but just scare the insects away to the second choice, to lay eggs, away from the farmer's valuable crop. And here comes our solution, Fertibug. Fertibug. It's patented and they got a trademark. The basic idea is to use an algae as a repellent to the cabbage root fly, Delia radicum. How can it be that an insect react like this to an algae? It's because she has a very sensitive nose with a direct connection between nose and brain. And this is because she is protected from nature to avoid to eat rotten food. The algae we use have the smell of Delia radicum, and she just fly away. As a carrier of the dead algae, we use pelletized fiber from fermented manure. Thus, we can fertilize and protect the crop of brassicas from attacks of cabbage root fly in one operation. The algae was originally found by NIVA in Oslo, and we tested this one at our university in Trondheim in 2004, but the most of the research was done in FP7 at Fraunhofer, IGB, and the University of West Hungary, and some small SMEs in Europe in 2008 to 11. Why Fertibug? It's a brand new approach, initiating a new era as to plant protection that does not harm people or environment, including insects, in any way. Safe to handle, can be used by all, professional, home gardeners, urban growers without protective equipment and when you use or spraying pesticides. In field tests in Hungary and Spain, we got an increase of yield up to 80%, depending on type of brassicas. Thus, fertibug meets the UN's SDG goals as to the food safety and sufficient food for everyone, when it comes to brassicas, of course, all done in a sustainable way. A preliminary production system. As you can see from the sketch, the problem is the Delia radicum. And you can see from the picture below that the roots are eaten by the larvae. And the plants can be destroyed and they often die. The hungry larvae can destroy a field, as you see above, in a few days without protection. And when it comes to our solution, the fertibug. We use manure from livestock or waste approved for agriculture use. That could be used as input to the biogas plant. As to the manure we use, our intention in total is that we intend to use biogas plants all over Europe, preferably in districts with a large production of brassicas, as a final supplier of fertibug. About 300 biogas plants in Germany alone have already pelletizing equipment installed and need only some dosing equipment in addition for the algae part. Conclusions: local raw material, local production, local use, and from Norway as a start, less than 1% of algae, giving, as we say, very small environmental footprints. As to the impact, this is based on figures from Eurostat and other sources, but you can see from here, let's say an average 50% increase in field tests. That gives 1,395 million euros to the brassica growers, securing their intake also in the future, if they use fertibug, of course. If you have a look at the EU society, you have reduced health costs due to reduction of 19,148 tons of insecticides used. And that is 9 billion euro a year and only 3 to 4 million euro for brassicas alone. And we have not been able to calculate the reduced environmental costs here, which also include insects, which is very important today. It's tasks to be done. It's the first one is get an approval before marketing in EU, which is it's impossible to market anything without an approval. So this is necessary. And it may take 2 years based on the regulations we have today. And we know new is coming in 22. Let's hope it will be easier, but not at the expense of food security. As to point 4, find partners and capital. That's very important for a micro SME. I invite everyone who got this to be with us on our way forward. I do thank you all for listening and hope it was an inspiration as to the use of algae in a new reality. Thank you all for listening.